Hello, Houston. We have a problem with Facebook, and oh, are we going to talk about it today? Welcome, everyone, to Social Media and AI Shortcuts. I'm Madalyn, Sklar, and today we got two big things we're going to be discussing. First, Facebook. I don't know if you've heard of this yet. Facebook wants us to grant access to every photo on our private camera roll. You heard me right. They're rolling out this cloud processing feature thing that could automatically upload your unpublished images from your phone, and they want to use it to train their AI. So I'm going to walk you through and show you how to turn this off. When I checked my settings, this is for the Facebook mobile app. It was turned on. So I shut it off, unless you guys are happy with Facebook having access to your personal photos. I don't know. Some of y'all may want to leave it. So that's up to you. But I'm going to walk you through and show you this because this is pretty important. And also what I'm going to do for y'all today, I'm going to live demo my ChatGPT business coach. I have been having so much fun with this task feature. It is one of the paid features. The free account, the ChatGPT free account does not do this, is on the Plus and Pro, like any of the paid accounts. So I paid $20 a month for ChatGPT. I also paid $20 a month for Magi. Between those two, I have everything with the AI tools. So I'm going to walk you through how I use this task feature to automate things. I have it as my business coach, my daily business coach. I'm going to show you how I'm doing this, where it helps me with productivity, with my daily to-do list. I also have one set up as an accountability coach. I have it check in with me every day to keep me on track as my personal accountability coach. I have one set up as my sales coach to just kind of keep me in that sales mindset. And I also have one just giving me cool motivational quotes every day because I love motivational quotes. I've always posted motivational quotes on my social media for the last gazillion years, and I love just reading motivational quotes in the morning when I start my day. So I have one set. I have a task set where every morning it sends those to me. So I'm going to walk you through this stuff and show you how I'm utilizing this amazing feature. So, hi, welcome. I'm Madalyn, in case you don't know who I am. I've been teaching social media and digital marketing for many, many years now. What my goal is to help make things simple. I want to make it so with AI and social media, you can just come to this hour, hang out with us, and walk away a little bit smarter, a little bit more knowledgeable, because I come across things that I feel can help our community to give you these shortcuts. So I love just hanging out with y'all for an hour and doing this. So we are live right now. Replay will be available when this is over. I'm going to bring up our panelists here. Welcome, everybody. Good to see y'all. What a great group. Members here. I see we got Barb, Rachel, Maria, and Bez. Thank y'all for hanging out with me. I'm really excited about our discussion today.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I've been missing you guys.
We
I always
missed
learn
you.
so much in here. And I love asking the questions that people watching may be thinking, but they can't actually ask. So yes, let's do it. I'm excited.
Definitely. Yeah. This is always a fun hour. Some may remember this Thursday, 1:00 Eastern time slot. 10 years ago, I started this as the Twitter Smarter chat, where we used to come on here onto X and do our old school. Y'all remember the old school Twitter chat with the hashtag and typing away. I always had hoped there would be an ability to live stream on X, Twitter, and then, now X. And I'm so glad it's so easy for us to come on here and live stream. We're also streaming on YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn. We're all over the place. So if you're tuning in live, come into the comments, say hello. Jason from Bunsen and Beakers here. This is the one time a year, well, a couple times a year, we'll see him live in the comments because he is a teacher. So the holidays and summertime. So Jason, always good to have you in the comments with us. And great to see my friend Creative Owls, who's been on the Twitter chat before. It's been a while since I've done that, but has been to our Spaces chats before. So clearmind-ai.com. Thank you for that. That sounds interesting. We got lots to talk about. Look at Bez on the go during his lunch hour. I love it. Great seeing you. Thanks for being here, Bez. You always bring a fun perspective.
I'm just out and about, but I'll be back home sometime, hopefully within this hour.
Well, we're glad you're here with us. Real quick, before we jump into this crazy Facebook news, we have a way to continue the discussion outside of this 1 hour chat. So we come here every Thursday, 1 o'clock Eastern, for this awesome hangout. But we also are on the school platform, school.com. So let me put up the link in here. So if anyone is not a member yet, go to school.com/Madalyn Sklar. It's free. Come hang out with us. It's a fun way for us to continue our discussions, post things that we feel can help each other that has to do with social media and AI. I'm all about making things easier for everybody. That's why I called it Social Media and AI Shortcuts. So be sure to join that. Come hang out with us. We always have really great discussions. It's in the ticker too. So if anybody is looking for the link, it'll be there for you. Jason says, I can show up at other times, but kind of frowned upon as I'm supposed to be teaching chemistry and probably should be supervising them with Bunsen burners and chemicals. Totally understand, Jason. And I've always appreciated all the times you've come on as a guest. Let's try to coordinate. We'll have to DM each other after this, because if you're available for one of these Thursdays this summer, love to have you come on and join us. You always bring so much value to the conversations and that we have here. For those that are not familiar, I definitely recommend checking out he's here on X right now, Bunsen and Beaker. A great account, built up a huge community on all of the social media. Just look for Bunsen, Beaker, and Bernoulli now. Added that one. Anyway, let's get into this Facebook thing, because there's some craziness going on, and I want to make sure everybody is aware of this. I just found out about this morning. It was posted by Maury Smith. And if you're not familiar with Maury Smith, she is like the queen of Facebook. If you follow her, you'll never be in the dark of anything that's going on. So she has this post from yesterday saying, have you come across a notification from Facebook yet asking for access to all the photos on your private camera roll? Have any of y'all gotten that yet? Have y'all seen this pop-up notification on your phone when you're in Facebook?
Not yet.
So I guess it's rolling out. So who was that?
Right. I checked mine, and they were off. I got it, and I checked it, and they were off.
Okay.
On her alert.
Because my notifications were on. So she has. So what Maury says is, Facebook is asking users for permission to automatically upload private unpublished images for cloud processing. Let that sink in for a moment. They want to take your private photos you haven't even published yet, from your phone, and put it in their cloud for processing, their cloud processing. And she says you might want to peek and check that this is turned off, unless, of course, you're happy, to have them look at all of this. So this is what you're looking for, is the setting. So I'm going to walk you through, because I followed the instructions on doing this step by step. So I'm going to
Madalyn, can I just say real quick, it's so important to pay attention to what she's sharing with us right now, and to recheck once in a while.
Yes.
Because the apps have a tendency to undo that off switch. All of a sudden you could go in and it's on again. So pay attention closely, mark this spot right here, and figure it out and do it once in a while. Check. I would highly recommend that. Yeah.
That's excellent advice. Yeah. I'm pretty good about going through. Oh, Cindy Lou's here all the way from New Zealand. Where's tomorrow? Hey, Cindy Lou, thanks for coming and joining us. Always great having you here with us. So we need to make sure everybody needs to go pull up their Facebook mobile app, so we can walk through this and make sure that, you have this turned off. So let me walk y'all through how to do it. And this is good for anybody who is watching the replay. If you're watching live, you can always go back to this spot in the replay, and I'll make sure I have it time-stamped. So I'm going to do it real quick so I can walk you through the steps, because you want to get to that screen. So you open up. So I've got y'all, for the first time ever, I've had mobile phones since way before they were cool, and back when they were crazy expensive. You had to pay for your minutes on mobile. Long time ago. For the first time ever, I cracked the screen. I'm so sad. I cracked it a little bit right over here. I always drop my phone, but I dropped it today, and the way it hit the pavement. First time ever. It's not real bad, but at least it's kind of off to the side. Anyway, you are going to start with going to your settings. So on mobile, you look for the bottom right where it says menu, and you're going to scroll down to settings and privacy. And for some of y'all, you can take notes for this and do it later. And then once you're in the settings and privacy, you're going to click on settings. And when you're in settings, you're going to scroll down a ways until you get to camera roll sharing suggestions. And y'all, mine was turned on. Let me take this off real quick. Hold on a second. Mine was on. I untoggled it. It was on. It's automatic. I don't want them taking anything like that from me. So this
Mine
is
was on
really.
Mine was on too. I just changed it.
It's really important to do this. So once again, go to the menu at the bottom right where your picture is. You're going to tap on that. This is for mobile only. It's not for desktop. This is just on mobile. It's the mobile app. When you're on this screen, you're going to scroll down till you see settings and privacy. It's a little ways down. And then right underneath that, it'll say settings again. So settings and privacy, then settings. And you're going to scroll down a ways until you see camera roll sharing suggestions. And it starts off saying, camera roll sharing suggestions. Manage how your camera roll can be used to help you create and share on Facebook. You can control camera roll access anytime in your device settings. I don't know. To me, this is a pretty big deal. I don't know. What are y'all thoughts on this? Why would Facebook? Well, we know why. They want to train their AI.
Scary stuff. I mean, for so many different reasons, whether you're doing little videos of those intimate moments with your partner, or I've worked with politicians on their campaigns doing their social media.
Mm-hmm.
And I am using my phone sometimes to do little reels and such. If I have a draft of something for a client of mine and it gets out there, that would be horrific. We make mistakes all the time when we're making content too. They would have access to all of the mistakes too and be able to do whatever they want with it because they're downloading. They can manipulate it however they want to also. You don't even know.
Right.
I don't like this at all. No.
Yeah, it's definitely concerning. But this, as you were saying just a little while ago, Maria, this is a good opportunity to go through your settings. It's something everybody should do from time to time. Go through your settings on all your apps, mobile and desktop. Go to the site and go through each one because they're notorious for just adding new things in the settings. I remember back when it was Twitter, before X, when it was Twitter, oh my gosh, there would be things that would just show up in there. And if you weren't paying attention, all of a sudden you're defaulted something on that you would not want on, So what I want everybody has homework today. At some point later, go through your social media settings on desktop and mobile for everything you have just to check. It's important, So
I just forgot that I had both the Apple and the Android phone because I use my Apple the groups I manage so that I can help people both ways. And both of them are turned off. Thank heavens. But I did, every single step. I mean, I'm shaking now because I thought, I told Madalyn it's all done, but every device, whether it's Apple or Android.
Yeah, Jason said it showed up when he updated because at first he said he didn't have it under his settings. But now that he's updated, thanks for pointing that out, Jason. Yeah, for anybody, because my friend Venus said the same thing. Well, she said hers was on. Yeah, check it. Mine was on. Check it. If you don't see it, then update. Make sure you can always manually go in to update. Like for instance, with X, it doesn't always. I have my phone set to automatically update all the apps, but for some reason, X usually doesn't do it. I don't know why. So I'm in a habit of about once a week, I'll just go into my iOS app store and just put in X and check. And there was an update this week for X and TikTok, I noticed, since the last time I had checked. So sometimes that happens. Anyway, this was an article that Maury Smith had also shared on her Facebook from PC World. So I'll make sure there's links to all this stuff I'm showing you. I'll have links to this in the YouTube description. One of the places we're live streaming right now is on my YouTube. And I always go back later into the description and add all the links. So like, if you remember, like, oh man, I remember Madalyn mentioned some cool tool recently on her live stream. Maybe it was from last week. You can always go to my YouTube, go to whichever previous Thursday live stream and look in the description. I always have all the links. Interesting with this article, because it sounds like a lot of people are getting the pop-up notification. So it says a new pop-up from Meta is causing a stir. Facebook users who want to upload stories are prompted to share their photos for cloud processing. So that seems to be where the pop-up is showing up, is when you try to go upload to stories. It allows Meta AI to access images from their smartphones, even ones that haven't been published to Facebook. That's just wrong.
This is so important, Madalyn, because I think I just did a story yesterday on Facebook, and that pop-up might have shown up and I didn't read it. Maybe I clicked and turned it on by accident. If it's coming up as part of in order to share your story, do this, I got to go check after we're done
It's very
here.
concerning. The next paragraph says, this raises question about data privacy. By agreeing to cloud processing, you enable Meta AI to analyze your private photos. Users who activate the feature can have their photos used for collages, photo themes, or AI-generated edits. However, this gives Meta access to all images in the smartphone storage. That's not good. The feature is currently being tested and rolling out in Meta's apps. Users must actively agree to use it. Really? Because when I went to that page that Maury shows in that screenshot, it was all turned on. However, the idea of Meta AI being able to view private photos is dubious at best. On platforms such as X and Reddit, users are expressing concerns that Meta could use the photos to train its AI models, despite promises to the contrary. Yeah, that's definitely a concern, because all the big AI companies are trying to train their models using all of our data.
And Madalyn, can I just say, yesterday I was having a conversation with some people about the difference between fear and concern. For everybody out there that's listening, sometimes when people hear things like this, that what Meta is doing, what X is doing, they tend to freeze up in fear and leave the platform. So these kinds of conversations are so important, because that word concern, Madalyn just used it. That gives you the ability to learn and make appropriate decisions about what to do, instead of just throwing in the towel and getting mad, right? Or scared. Don't let that fear just drive you away either. You do have the power to control what you're putting out here if you keep up on things like this conversation. So thank you, Madalyn.
Well said, Maria. Well said. I love that. Yeah. Does anybody have any thoughts as we, transition to some AI stuff I want to discuss? What are your thoughts, Rachel?
It just feels like a bait and switch, which honestly, all of the social media companies are doing now, because even if they didn't realize the gold mine they have in our data, they are realizing it now. So if you expect your data to stay private, just give up. It's just not going to happen. They're just going to update everything, and they're going to say, well, if you want to play, you got to sign on the dotted line, and we'll keep updating it every 3 months, and we won't even tell you.
Right. It's
creepy.
It is creepy. Yeah. This is just one of those things that everybody needs to be aware of. And as I keep saying over, and I'm going to say it again, go check your settings on everything. You're going to be like, for those that don't ever do this, you're going to be shocked at some of the things you find that were defaulted on. Back when it was Twitter, I know y'all know me, I was really big on teaching Twitter back in the day. They were constantly changing things and defaulting things on. And it's so easy to miss all this because they don't notify anybody. There's no handbook. Hey, this is what we did. Make sure no, it's all on you. It's social media and all this stuff is such a double-edged sword. We all get a lot of value. Like if it weren't for social media, we all wouldn't even know each other, So I'm never going to be anti-social media. It's been amazing for the work I do and connections. And I've been building online communities since the mid-90s. Back in the mid-90s, oh my gosh, if we had the ability to connect with people in this way, how different would things have been? No, I had to use like bulletin boards and very clunky ways of connecting emails. Oh, a static web page and emails. I mean, it was so crazy. I found ways to do it, but it was such a different time. I love how social media opened up so much for all of us, but with the double-edged sword, we're the product.
Right.
And we always have to remember that we're the product. There's some really interesting documentaries about. There was that one with Facebook and that
Absolutely. Yeah.
that analytics. What was that company called? Cambridge Analytica. Man, that it was really hard to use Facebook after watching that a few years ago. The way they use our data to do things is insane. But we let them, and I don't like it, but it allows me to connect with everybody.
Well, and to tell you the truth, my mindset always was it's free. Let's use it to connect and do good things with it. So I used to think if it would break down and have a glitch, oh, it's free anyway. But now I'm paying, like on X, now I'm actually paying money to use it. No matter if you go into the premium, so we are actually paying and they still don't let us know when things change. They have no accountability to the users. So it gets scary.
Can I bring up an next point really quickly?
Sure.
If you're paying for premium, a new updated terms just came out that says that it's okay for all of your data to be used to train Grok, and you opt out of any future lawsuits.
Oh, man.
So if you've already, I paid for a year of premium. So even if I cancel, they can still, and this literally just came down as a notification and you may not have even clicked on it. So again, another bait and switch. So I'm going to opt out of premium when my term comes due. But right now I'm stuck and all of these AI lawsuits are coming up and
yeah.
So I think they're trying to prevent future lawsuits on X. That's
yes.
Isn't one of the things in the big bill right now is that there's something with like AI, like something like 10 years for the next 10 years, like these AI companies can't be like, was it liable or responsible? Like something where they can do whatever they want. So it sounds like that they won't be in lawsuits. I don't know. It's some crazy stuff, but this is a reminder why I have our school community sign up at school.com/Madalyn Sklar, because we use social media to gather, right? And right now we're on social media. We're on Facebook, YouTube, X, and LinkedIn. But this is where we can all go to continue our discussions. And the beauty of school is I have it free for everybody to join, but I pay a monthly fee to have it, but I get the control. Not the billionaire or the tech bro. I get to control it. So there's a lot of power in that. And I think we're going to see more and more people, communities, and businesses start going. I'm already seeing a bit of a shift. There's a handful of these types of community sites that they cost money, but you can either have it be a free community that you put out, or you can charge a fee for people to be part of your community. But the bottom line is you have the control, and that's powerful. And I think more and more people are waking up to this. I happen to love school. I've been on the school platform for a couple of years, over 2 years, I think now. I started on somebody's, I was in somebody's community when I first heard about it, fell in love with it. It wasn't nearly as big as it is now, and started one for my Kratom community. And so I've had that one for almost 2 years now, and I love it. And then I started this one for our social media and AI shortcuts, just so we have a place where we can go and not worry about all the craziness with the privacy and how these social media companies run things. So be sure to sign up. School.com/Madalyn Sklar is just, I just want to build up something there, because look, there could be a day where like all of a sudden Facebook's down for a week or X goes away. You just don't know. We learned back in the MySpace days, we didn't think MySpace would go away, and it did. It was the biggest thing at the time. Do y'all remember? It was huge. And then it went away. And you lost everything you had. Anything you had in there, it was gone. And it was like, okay, we got to be careful with these sites, because if they decide to go away, there's nothing we can do about it.
Which goes back to what you were talking about last week, the reminder about emails, because it's not only the content that we're losing, it's the connection with those hundreds of individuals that we may have been in contact with for years. Yeah, poof, they're gone. So have a backup plan. Yeah.
Yeah. Email will never be dead. I used to laugh years ago when people, like long time ago, people like emails are dead now. It's like, no, they will never be dead ever. And it goes through these cycles. I remember probably 10 or 15 years ago, email's dead now. It's like, no, it's just because social media came along 20 years ago. I still remember back in the early social media days, I'll never forget this. And I was really in, doing a lot of marketing in the music business, and bands would discover the power of MySpace. It was very powerful for musicians. And they would, instead of having their .com website, they're like, oh, we don't need a website. We're just going to redirect the domain name to our MySpace. So you type in their band's, URL, it went right to their MySpace. We're like, well, we don't need a web page anymore. We're just going to send people. And a lot of us industry people are like, not really. You should always have your own place that you own and you control. And it's always going to be your .com with your own site. Hello, Kitty, and your email list. And that's never going to change ever. Everybody should always have that. Your kitty is so cute, Rachel. I know she always enjoys being on the program.
Madalyn?
Yes.
So cute.
You mentioned two things, the website, the .com website, but the website, it's hosted somewhere, and that, wherever it's hosted, has terms of service as well.
Good
What
point.
about school community? What are their terms of service? How often are they changing their terms? Because, they just had a new feature that they added.
Yes.
Wasn't it this last week? And I'm thinking, well, we're going to go live there.
Native video.
Native video, and that's our content. I think it's time to take a look at those.
That's a great I didn't even think that's a great thought. I'm going to definitely have to go back through that and see. But yeah, on the school platform, y'all, I've been asking for this feature since I first got on school. I bugged them so many times, and I was told that they were working on it, that their plan was to launch it July 1st, and sure enough, July 1st they did. So let me show y'all real quick. On the school platform, anytime you wanted video, what you had to do was put in a link to a YouTube, a Vimeo, a Loom, or a Wistia. So you always had to have it hosted somewhere else, and you put the link in. And I like to be able to just make a video on my phone real quick, say what I want to say, post it, natively. These were extra steps. I would sometimes do it, but it was a lot of work, because it's like, okay, let me share my thought real quick for the community. Now I got to go upload it to YouTube, make it unlisted, or go do it into Loom, make it private, and then go get the link. And then, it was all these steps. They finally did this. So I made one to show everybody how cool this is. Here it is. Let me show you. So I made this in 2 seconds on my computer. I did this yesterday. Hey friends, I'm so excited we can now quickly and easily make videos like this in our school community. I want to give you a heads up. So this week on the Social Media and AI Shortcuts live stream over on my YouTube, LinkedIn, and X, easiest to watch the replay on YouTube if you can't come live. I'm going to show something really cool. I am loving a feature I've been using for quite a while now on ChatGPT. It's called ChatGPT Tasks. Now, this feature is only available on the paid accounts. It's not available in the free. So if you have a Plus account, which is what I have, I pay $20 a month for it. It's so worth it, because I'm able to set up reoccurring tasks, and I'm going to pull back the curtain tomorrow on the live stream and show y'all how I'm doing this as ChatGPT being my business coach and helping me with my daily to-do list, and being my productivity manager is really cool. It's a real simple thing I put in place where I tell it exactly what I want, which is, hey, check in with me every weekday morning at a specific time. And I'm going to give you my to-do list for the day, and you help me time block the day and give me some motivation and accountability. And it is amazing. I've been doing this for many months now, and I really feel like my productivity has gone way up. My time management has improved. So I'm going to show y'all this, because I think this is just one of those little hidden secrets inside of ChatGPT that people don't realize they can do. So I'm going to show you. I cannot wait to see what y'all think. So I'll see you tomorrow, which is Thursday, on Social Media and AI Shortcuts. The replay will be available here in school as well. I made that in 2 seconds, as you saw. So quick, and I'm so glad school has that now.
A little more than 2 seconds.
Well, a little more than 2 seconds, but the process,
But all good stuff.
like I
Yeah.
did, because it's who wants to go, okay, I want to post this there, but I got to go record the video somewhere first. Now I got to go upload it somewhere. Now I got to make sure it's unlisted or private. Now I got to get the link. Then I go back to the original thing and put the link. It's frustrating, super frustrating. So it was so nice I could easily do that. And that's what we're going to segue to now, because I'm really excited to show y'all
Perfect.
this task feature. It's a real game changer. I know I've mentioned it a few times here, since I've been doing it this year, but I really want to pull back the curtain and talk about it more. And I think a lot of people are going to be interested in this. I just know ChatGPT does not, they're not sponsoring this. I'm not doing this to I don't get anything out of this. I'm only sharing the value I get out of this. And for me, it's worth the $20 a month plan that I'm on. They have the free. The free is great. I was on the free plan forever. And I've talked about it here on the live stream before. I don't remember which episode, but earlier this year, I signed up for the plus, the $20 a month plan. I do my Magi for my $20 a month. I love Magi that's the all-in-one AI tool. But I also pay for ChatGPT because of the fact that you can talk to it, do the whole advanced audio feature. When I have videos about that, if you go to my YouTube, you'll see my videos showing you how it works. It is, for me, it's worth the $20 a month because I get so much value out of it. But they have some other features. And this tasks feature is a real game changer, and I think people just don't know about it. But first, I'm going to play a short little 1-minute clip. I'm a big fan of Dan Martell. I've been watching a lot of his videos on YouTube lately. He's big business coach guy, speaks all over the world, super smart, has all these businesses, makes gazillion dollars. But I just, before I walk you through, I think, I know a lot of us have opinions about AI and not everybody's comfortable with it. I get it. But he shares a really interesting perspective. So watch this real quick.
For one question that I get, what should one focus on to get rich in 2025?
I have nothing to sell, but I'm just going to keep saying it's AI, AI, AI. If you don't realize there's this whole wave of transformation, I'm talking like multiple levels, just AI adoption, small business, like people are like, everybody must be using AI. Nobody's using it, bro. Even my own team. I walk around, I said, show me your ChatGPT or Claude or whatever you're using. Show me the history. You can't be a productive member of a team if you don't use it every day, half a dozen times a day. Period. You're not that smart. Don't be so freaking dumb. It has to be used. So getting into that, to surf that wave right now in 2025, right now, everybody, I don't care what industry you're in, is a winning recipe to future-proof yourself and monetize.
I thought that was well said. If you're especially a solopreneur, I think ChatGPT or any of these popular AI tools. I know Claude's real popular. Some people love Grok, Gemini. I think it can be really valuable, but it's knowing how to use it. I think that's the real key here, is how do you use it so that you get benefit from it? And so I'm going to show y'all some things, but are any of y'all here actively using any of these AI tools, as part of your regular business?
Yes.
How are you? I'm curious, first, just to hear how y'all are using it.
I'll go first. Daily, every single day. I mean, I have been a person that starts my day with a task list since the 80s, and I have in a text file that in every computer I've ever had, and I've just text-based. And when the first thing when it started, because I do community management, when the Bing Copilot came along and rested right beside, on the right-hand side of my laptop screen, I could be in Facebook and I could ask it. For me, I am, most of my online work is affiliated with offline events. And so, but I can't remember what the dates of those events are, how many people are participating and all of that. And I just say, backgrounder on this event, and they bring it up immediately. So very simple things like that when I'm starting my day. On news headlines, because of old habits, I started, one of the things that really inspired me to use Grok, or Grok, or however it's pronounced. I had the paid account, and I thought, well, it should be able to pull up my news headlines. One of my daily habits has been, since I've been, had PCs, and we were connected online, was to get the news.google.com, get the headlines from there. And so now I can take with using my preferences, just like yours, Madalyn, at the core is ChatGPT. But because of my history online, where we had Twitter and we had all these news people coming in on Twitter so quickly, I thought, now I can use the best of both worlds, because I can ask these same things through Grok, ask that on X, and then ask it also on ChatGPT and see what the difference is. And it is amazing to help me. And just like you, the first thing they gave us was the projects, and that's how I'm so excited to learn about the tasks they did, because I've been using projects as long as they've been introduced. And
Love that feature.
Yeah, and you have a description there where you give it background information. So I use it for those things. Does it make a difference in my day? Absolutely. I have groups, of what, 26,001 and 6,000 in another, and 9,000 in another, and so forth, a lot of them. And so going back to Facebook and Meta, of course I was excited that it was announced. And of course, because of who I was, they wanted to give me first access to it. That's dangerous. I will just tell you that because of the way I tested these things, like I said, I went back to the core with ChatGPT. I would get what I got from Meta, and I would go to ChatGPT, and it was like amazing. So I said, nope, I'm sticking with paying the monthly for the ChatGPT.
So you get a lot of value out of it. That's great to hear.
Absolutely. I was like, okay, if I have to give stuff up, that's going to be the last.
Exactly. Who else is utilizing AI, Rachel?
Yeah, I use it every day. I use it for things where, like, let's say I've written an email response to somebody and it's just very factual. So I'll put in, make this more personalized, keep it friendly yet professional, and it'll rewrite it for me. And it knows me now, which is one of the things that you have touched on, Madalyn, is you train it, it gets to know you. And so it tailors its responses to you. So I found it really helpful for tightening up and streamlining and tone of emails. And then as an author, I think I talked about this last time. I put in an image of the back cover because I needed the transcription of the copy on the back, and it was 30 seconds later. So, just little things like that, I think are making a huge difference. I'm not using it to write any stories or anything that I may be selling. I'm really using it strictly in a business sense.
Gotcha. Anybody else utilizing AI?
I haven't yet, but I'm intending to go back into my podcast, into the notes and the transcriptions, and have it change them into an article type format, because that's always the struggle for me, because audio, when it's transcribed, is so different than the written word. And so it takes some tweaking. So I'm going to start testing it like that. I don't use it yet right now. And by the way, I have people around me that are in their early 20s. And it's so interesting. They don't even know what Grok is. I hate to say it, but I think X is turning into the older people platform a little bit. They love ChatGPT because for coding and such in their new jobs, they just graduated from college and they're going into the workforce and they're using all these tools. So it's really cool to see. But when I ask them what's better, ChatGPT or Grok, and they're kind of like, Grok? You know, so I don't know. No offense to anyone out there, but
Interesting.
yeah, it's kind of an age thing. I think is starting to be. So we'll see.
Interesting. Interesting. Cindy Lou, what about you? Are you utilizing any AI these days for your business?
We are utilizing AI to help us with ideas that we've already got formatted and we want to do something new with it. And so we're asking it to help us think about new ways to twist the information or reframe, not twist, but reframe the information. And I also recently wrote a children's book that features one of my son's recent stories of having a
Wow.
car accident. So it was kind of a fun little experiment.
That's so cool.
Yeah, you have to coax it along and make sure it's sharing your ideas and not its own.
Absolutely.
That's, I
Absolutely.
think, the biggest tip is, if you don't like what's coming out, then you tell it. No,
Absolutely.
you're going down the wrong road, or
Yeah.
you know,
It's not like it knows all. Like you have to direct it. You have to, it's all with the prompting. But the thing is, I think too many times people think, oh, if I don't do the perfect prompt, then this isn't going to work. And that's not I always start off real simple, and then it builds and builds and builds. And I'll keep coming back and asking questions, and then things get refined. With me, it's more like a conversation. That's why I like the audio feature so much, because I can just talk to it like a person, and it talks back to me like a person. And we're just having a conversation, but I'm brainstorming new ideas, and I find it incredibly helpful. I love that Venus said she asked ChatGPT to translate meows with her cat's meow, and ChatGPT said meow said leave me alone. That's hilarious. That's so
oh,
funny.
that's hilarious.
I love that.
Speaking of settings, though, with that, do people regularly go in to see what ChatGPT is remembering about you and about the
It's
tasks
interesting.
that you have done? Because
Yeah.
it's the same as, it's very similar to this photos thing. And yeah, got to make sure.
Yeah, the
you are
memory's
checking that.
improved. I know I mentioned that recently because it was an improvement they did. They upgraded the memory, and I definitely noticed it's better. But you can only have so much like you get to a point on ChatGPT where you'll not have much memory left. So you got to go into your settings, go into the memory, and just purge some stuff. So I've done that from time to time because I've been using ChatGPT since it first came out, which has been like what, 2.5 years, maybe 3. I don't know. It's been out a while now. So maybe 3 years. Is that right? I know ChatGPT has been a while now. Anyway, there's like some old memory stuff in there. So I've been able to, so it's actually a great idea is to go into your settings and go to that and do that from time to time. Let me show, so I want to show you all a couple of things with this real quick. Because it's just so darn cool, and just a reminder again that what I'm going to be showing y'all, I am on the paid account. I'm on the plus, the ChatGPT Plus, $20 a month. So on their paid plans, you get the task feature. If you're on the free plan, I'm not trying to get anybody to go pay for this, but when I wanted to first try out the paid plan just so I could do the audio thing, I'm like, you know what, I'm just going to do, because it's month to month. They don't have annual plans. I just like, I'm going to try for a month. And when the 30 days are up, I'll probably just cancel. Well, I've never canceled because I like all the features. But I just want to show because it's some really cool stuff. So what I'm going to show y'all, I've been doing this for quite a while now. It's basically my ChatGPT business coach. I have it set to give me some daily time management support. I always feel like I need a little nudge in the morning. I'll have my to-do list, but I feel like, well, maybe with this new task feature, it can help. Maybe I could give it my to-do list, and it can help me time block with it. And I love motivation, and I tell it like, I want some motivation. I want you to be my cheerleader. You tell it what you want, and it took a little bit of time to refine it exactly. But it's basically my time manager, supporter, coach, whatever. It's really cool. So I want to show this example. I'm going to pull up a doc. When I was playing around with it this week, with yesterday, I wanted to show an example of how this works. So I had to set up all these, I had to work with the prompting to get it to do exactly what I want. So it may take a little time for it to get just right for you. It's not going to necessarily be exactly what you want on your first go around, but through all my refinement, I have it set to do this with me every day. So this is an example from yesterday. I want it to tell me what day it is, because when you have this long scrolling page of all, it's just every single day, it just adds to the bottom of the page. I want to be able to like maybe I want to look back at one from earlier in the week. So I have it set to, tell me what is today's day. So today is Wednesday, July 2nd. Good morning. I love this. Good morning, Madalyn, and happy Wednesday. It's time to lock in and focus on your mission today. You've got goals to hit, people to help, and projects that matter. So let's get to it. What's on your to-do list today? What's your first move? And how can I help you win the day? I need that. And I didn't realize I needed that till I started playing with this feature. Then it goes on to say, as your business coach, here's your nudge. Money flows to speed and clarity. Don't wait for perfect, just get it moving. Whether it's replying to emails, prepping content, or launching your next thing, do it with power and purpose. Like James Wedmore says, you don't get clarity, then take action. You get clarity from taking action. I told it that my two favorite business coach motivator types are James Wedmore and Myron Golden. So it weaves that into this every day. I mean, I still cannot, I'm telling y'all, $20 a month.
Crazy. That's awesome.
This, from just this one task I have set up alone,
Yeah.
is worth $20 a month. And I have multiple ones, and plus all the other features. So then it says, once you share your list, I'll break it into time blocks so you can hit the ground running. Let's move with focus and confidence. And remember, the more consistent you are, the easier it gets. Let's go, Madalyn, 1% better today. Love it. So I'm just a very minimalist. So I just give it my very basic, and it knows enough about me that it knows when I have things abbreviated. It knows through I've been doing this thing for months now, a lot of months. I don't remember when I started, whenever the task feature came out, I think it was maybe March or February. So I've been doing this for quite a while every day. So I just said, like, okay, number one, got to work on my podcast. I need to do some editing in Camtasia and relaunch it. And I like to go ahead and just kind of tell it like how much time I think I want to work on that. And the newsletter prep for this. And then I want to move my newsletter from Beehive to Substack. And I just put if I have time. And I'd already been doing stuff all morning yesterday. So I just said, have my start time at noon. So this is what it came back with. Good morning, Madalyn, and happy Wednesday. Today, it just says it again, kind of repeats the date. Let's lock in and move with purpose. You don't need to conquer the mountain today. Just climb your section. Just remember, I want it to give me this kind of motivation. You don't have to, but I trained it to be like this with me because this is what I prefer. You already know what to do, and now it's time to execute with clarity, boldness, and joy. Here's your focus schedule for today based on 12 p.m. start. So it just kind of breaks down and just kind of gives me just more little coaching motivation stuff, like on the podcast, just start. That's the breakthrough. Action breeds clarity, and you're relaunching this week. Next one with the newsletter. Share your voice, your insights, and get people excited for what's coming next. For this live stream prep, strategize, simplify, and spark value. This is where your audience sees you shine. And then if I have time to work on the newsletter, a smooth shift that sets you up for future growth. And then it ends it by saying, Madalyn, the work you're doing is not just content, it's connection. People need what you're creating. They're waiting for your leadership, your voice, your energy. So don't hold back today. Like James Wedmore teaches, your next level of income and impact is just on the other side of aligned and perfect action. What can I help you to keep moving forward? Let's make today count. That's just like, I love this. But this is just one example of so many different ways you can utilize this feature. It took a little time to get it exactly how I wanted, but it was not that hard to do. And what do y'all think? I mean, just with this one example of many that I have.
It's incredible. It's incredible. And I think that, I used to be in litigation for a long time. So we were working with so many documents, organizing so many things, color coding, to-do lists, what the client says, blah, blah, blah. This kind of technology, taking those organizational points like that at your discretion, putting in how you want to hear it, it opens up our capacity to use our brain cells in different ways. Because I think sometimes people think that this is kind of cheating and you're not thinking as much anymore. And it actually opens up the possibilities for creative freedom even more. It expands our capacity by taking some of this stuff off our plate. But I'm also kind of laughing when you're saying, you can tell it what to do. You can say, tell me every day how beautiful I am. And
Absolutely.
you might go on about it, but you need to be careful, because I was thinking about Snow White and the evil queen, the mirror, mirror on the wall, tell me
Right.
who's the fairest of them all, right? When it tells you it's someone else, are you going to get mad and break it? So yeah, it's fascinating. It's really fascinating how it all works.
It's really interesting. And there's so many different ways to utilize this. It's really endless. It's just a way for you to tell it what you want. You can have it send you some kind of daily or whenever. So like for what I just showed y'all, I have it set to Monday through Friday on the weekdays to send this to me, to send my little, check-in basically. And I have give it a specific time, and I've changed the time a few times, but I basically have it send it early in the morning. And when you do that, you can have it set so that you get a pop-up notification on your phone, on the mobile app, on desktop if you want, and it will also send you an email. And I love that because I'll see I have the pop-up turned on, so on my phone, on the mobile app, it'll pop up, and I just tap on it, and it's ready for me because I've already told it everything I wanted to do. I just put in whatever, and then, now it helps me. But I also use it, not just that. What I showed y'all was one way. I also have one that's my accountability coach. And so it just checks in with me every weekday morning. And it's just like, all right, you got to get on the ball. These are the things you said you want to be working on this week. So what do you, by 2:00 today, I want you to send me this. And by 6 p.m., I want you to have this done. And it's like, it's wild because you tell it to be an accountability partner and you tell it how you want it to act based on what your needs are. And you can always tweak it at any time. And whenever I make one of these, I always have it give me an example so I can see if it's in line with what I want. I'll actually show y'all one because I did like a little quick one before we started today, so I could show y'all how easy it is to just kind of get one of these started. So let me pull up my screen here. So just a reminder, this is for I'm on the Plus accounts, $20 a month if you're on the Plus or higher. And you need to start with either the 04 mini on ChatGPT. There's a pull down menu right up here at the top left. And you have to pick, it's either the 04 mini or the 03. I have mine defaulted just to the 04, but for task, you have to, they recently changed this. So I did the 04 mini. And I know this is small print. I know if anybody's watching on mobile, they're not going to, so I'm going to read this off. So I just wanted to start a simple task. And I said, create a task for me every morning at 9 a.m. Send me the best positive motivational quote to help me start my day. So it literally it said thought for a few seconds, and it came back and it's like, set it up for 9 a.m. It's going to send me a motivational quote. I can click on the 3 dots to edit it. So if I want to change it, pause it, delete it, or I want to go in and manage all of my tasks. So it says, got it. I'll send you a positive motivational quote every morning at 9 a.m. Then I came back and I said, can you give me one so I can see if it's what I'm looking for? It says thought for 4 seconds. Okay. It thought about it for 4 seconds and it came back and said, today is Thursday, July 3rd. Here's your motivational quote to start the day. Believe in yourself and all that you are, and know that there is something inside you greater than any obstacle. And it's the quote by Christian D. Larson. I'm like, oh, it's perfect. Yeah. So, but I can change it at any time. But this is just a super simple example of how you could use this feature.
Madalyn, on X, you put out quotes, the inspirational quotes once in a while. Do you take them from this kind of plan sometimes?
Sometimes I do.
Because it's totally okay, of course. And you're giving attribution to the writer of the quote.
100%.
Yeah.
So before AI, with it being like this, thanks, Resman, for joining us today, by the way. Before AI, what I would do, I love sharing motivational quotes. So what I would do is I would just go on Google and I type in motivational quotes, and a whole bunch of sites come up, and I just go through them manually. And this can take time. I used to always have like a whole list of them so I can just schedule them into my Twitter feed back in the old Twitter days. And now I just do it with my X feed. With AI now, instead of, first of all, ChatGPT and some of these AI tools are becoming the new Google. How many of y'all here, show of hands, who is starting to realize like you're catching yourself actually instead of going to Google first, you're going to your AI? I've been
Definitely.
I'm going,
Definitely.
I'm
Yeah.
going into AI way more for my questions instead
Yes.
of going, but I'm sure everybody's noticed by now when you go to Google and type in your questions, it's using their AI, which is Gemini. You now notice at the top there, it's using their AI. So it's
Well, and
already
instead of giving you a straight answer, it's giving you a big list of places to check too when you
it
do a
gives you
search.
sources. It
Like
gives you,
just the other day, we used ChatGPT to find a recipe. Just how do you make, fish tacos? And it just comes one recipe. There's the answer. There it is. I don't have to go through all of the food sites that Google might tell me and make a choice. It's telling me directly the answer.
yeah.
Madalyn,
Yes.
I switched us into full screen on my computer so I could watch that on ChatGPT very closely when you were in there. All you're really doing, I didn't see that there was a task tab or anything. You're just issuing a task command. Is that what you're saying? But you're
Yeah.
using that mini, it's only available to do in mini. And what is really only available to do in mini is that scheduling, right?
Yeah. So let me pull back up again. So you go into ChatGPT and then, you have your choice of the different models.
Right.
And so you have to use either the O3, which is
Mhm.
the advanced reasoning, or the O4 mini, which is fastest at advanced reasoning. So I use the O4 mini, and that's how I did this. So you put all this in here, and now it's saved this. So every morning at 9 a.m., this is going to show up automatically on my left sidebar with all my other chats. And then they're saved when you come up here to the top right, you go into your settings, and you go to notifications, and then you're going to see right here, task. So I have it set to be push an
Oh.
email, but I don't know why they make this so small, because that's just for the notification. But this is where they put where you
Okay.
manage.
Yeah.
Real tiny text right here. It says manage
Yeah.
task. So you have to click on that to get to where all of your tasks are. So you can go in if you want to like pause, but you can also, because I have, my handful of these that are set for every day. If I want to make changes, I can do it right inside of it. So when it pops up, I'm like, you know what? I want to change the time of this, or I want a different direction. I just do it inside that chat. But if I want to go and manage all of them, you just have to go a very odd spot. But you go into your notifications, and then you see this little tiny link, manage task, right there. So I'm just super impressed. I feel like I've only scratched the surface with this.
But
So
okay, you had it open. Now I've been using the projects for a long time, and I have one for my own personal development. And you mentioned on the quotes thing, I actually created a project for that, for types of like mindfulness, different categories of quotes that I wanted to share, and then also timing. And I put them under a quotes project. And so it actually, when you work under a project and you tell it, like you said, who your favorites were and so forth, I did that. Everything that I put in that project, it will pull from and
yes,
do that.
it's
So now, okay, just in that flow, I want to share the flow. So now with the task manager, I can go into my, let's say, my personal development folder, and I can be using the 4-point, the appropriate ChatGPT model, and I can do that command like you have. It's going to manage it within the project too, correct?
I don't know if it works inside of projects. The way you set up one is you have to just start with a chat. I don't think you can do it inside a project. 'Cause
Inside?
when you're in
I'm
the
looking forward to your class, by the way.
I would try. Yeah,
yeah.
I haven't tried that yet. I know when you're in the project, and the project's a whole separate thing. We don't have time to get into that today.
Mhm.
We will get into that another time. But when you're in the project, it does let you start an O4 mini. I'll have to try that and see.
Me too.
It should
Okay.
let you, but just for everybody to know, project is just a way to organize your chats.
Mhm.
I have I can have a whole another big discussion on that, because I have a whole bunch of them, and it's such a great way to organize. But these are features that are only on these paid accounts. So,
Right.
but for me, it's been well worth it. For others, it may not be. I mean, look, when I started paying the $20 a month at ChatGPT, I was actually trying to scale back all these different subscriptions I have. And I'm not giving up my Magi. That's just, and if anybody here has not checked out Magi, I mean, it's one of my favorites. Magi is such, oh wait, I'm doing the wrong thing. Let me,
I like the founder.
Magi, yeah, Dustin.
Yeah,
Stout.
Dustin.
Dustin
I-
comes on here from time to
See?
time. But
I
yeah,
love
Have a
seeing the
cheese heaven.
comments. By the way, I love seeing the comments. I want to thank the people that are offering comments into the
all the-
chat here right now.
love
Yeah, it's
everybody
hard
here
to see
live.
them on my screen, but I love it. And the names popping up. I'm going to go back later and check them out better because I can't read them very well right now on my screen.
Yeah,
But yeah,
that's the only thing on mobile. Things are definitely a lot
Yeah.
smaller. But yeah, we have, you know, a whole bunch of people here live with us. There's 78 people here between all the different social media we're on right now. We really, it looks like my LinkedIn stopped though. That's weird. LinkedIn had some kind of issue because now it's not
we're
working.
at over an hour right now.
Yeah, we got to wrap
Oh.
up. We got to wrap up. But
Yeah.
Magi is one of my favorite. What I love about Magi is an all-in-one tool, and so I can do everything, including my ChatGPT stuff. But some of these paid ChatGPT features is not. Magi has a lot of the paid stuff, but not the task or the projects feature. But what I love about Magi also is you can categorize and have folders, very much like the task feature.
Okay.
So these tools, they all have their pluses of what they can do. And so for me, it's worth it for me to have these two specific tools that allow me to do everything I want to do. And not everybody needs that. Some people just want to have one tool they pay for. If there's one tool, I would suggest Magi because it's the all-in-one. You have all of them. ChatGPT, Claude, Grok, DeepSeek, Gemini, all of them. That's just the large language model, the LLMs. For the image generators, you get all the big ones, DALL-E, Flora, Fluxlora. There's so many of them. It's an all-in-one with everything. So the thing is, if there are some specific things like all these ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini, they're all going to have specific things that their paid accounts will do that the others don't. And so you may find that with like, oh, well, I like these features that ChatGPT has. So it's just like, okay, do you want to pay for one or both? It's up to you. You got to figure out what works for you. But what works for me personally, I get the everything covered by having those two subscriptions. I don't want to give up my ChatGPT subscription because of the way I use it with all of these additional features. So it's been absolutely worth it for me. Resman's asking, does the use of Magi require the paid subscription of other models? No, that's the beauty is if you have Magi, let's say you're paying for Claude right now in ChatGPT and you're like, you know what, I'd rather have an all-in-one. You get a lot of the features in those paid accounts. But I do know because I've talked to Dustin and for Magi, and they're not, as far as I know right now, they don't have the task feature of ChatGPT inside Magi. So the best thing
That's
to
a
do,
great way to test a bunch of different types of AI, though.
it is so cool.
For newbies, for sure.
I
Yeah.
know Bez uses Magi. Bez, what are your thoughts on Magi?
I like it. I mean, you get it all in one area, and you get a lot of great features. But I've been actually playing a lot with making my own microbots
Oh,
and connecting them to, and just have it do one task. And because I do some career coaching as well, so I can see where people are getting hung up. So I've created one and I've connected it to Claude, and I'm experimenting. Sometimes you have to connect them to other things. But yeah, it's if I love playing around with AI. I'm now I'm not a programmer, but I'm developing my own microbots, and maybe one day I'll string them all together and have a suite of them. Who knows?
that's so cool. One of the things I like with Magi that I've been starting to do more instead of picking, do I want to use ChatGPT, Gemini, Claude, is he has an auto button and you just press auto, and based on your prompt, it will automatically use what it thinks is the best one for that, which I find super interesting. And I've been playing around with that inside of Magi. There's just so many really cool tools out there now. And that's one of the things here on this discussion each week is we talk about some of these different tools we use and how they can be beneficial for others. But I wanted to give you all that lesson today on ChatGPT. if people are interested and want to learn more about the task feature, I'm thinking about doing like maybe a little one-off class or something. So y'all let me know if there's interest in that, because I could really deep dive in a private class, like a private group class, walk through all the steps of how I got the business coach with my daily to-do list, how I got it exactly to where it is now, plus show how I set up my other ones, my accountability coach, my sales coach. I'm gonna do an experiment and try to set up a task where it combines all the prompts I have into, so it's just one, like a mega coach, that is my daily productivity coach, accountability coach, and sales coach, and all in one. I'm going to try that out and see, but I don't
Just
know.
a little reminder that on the school platform, Madalyn is practicing and testing some of these ideas. So if you guys want to get into the nuts and bolts and figure out how she thinks and figures stuff out, you can get a heads up a little bit by joining school. It's true.
Thank you
Yes.
for the shout out. You're
yes.
so good. You're so good at
Because
doing that.
sometimes we're talking about things and we might not understand exactly what you're saying, but if we're in school, we can go into depth a little more and ask you questions and stuff too. It's great.
100%.
Yeah.
100%. And I'm always available to chat with people. You can always chat with me in the comments or even private message me there. It's one of the very few places I actually have notifications turned on. I don't have notifications turned on for any of my social media. I would be just too overwhelmed with all my large social media accounts, but I have it turned on school. So anytime people connect with me there, I can definitely get it a lot quicker. So yeah, this is always a great chat, y'all. I'm so glad y'all were here today to have this discussion. Is anybody interested in wanting a more deep dive into the task feature? Is that something anybody here watching, both our panelists and our live viewers?
So far, it's above my head right now.
Well, we got
to do the paid level. But yeah, I need the beginners class first.
Yeah, I was working on that several months ago. I need to get back into.
Yes, you do.
Because
yes,
I know a lot of people want to learn more of the basics too. Yeah, yes. I'll work on that. So.
Yeah, Madalyn, what I've noticed is sometimes I assume things and I just go ahead and get right into it, and it's going over people's heads. So you really
it is.
And hey, this is where you turn on the computer and stuff. I mean, sometimes you just have to, because our audience is Gen Xers and Boomers. Sometimes you just don't know where they're at, so.
Right. Exactly. Christopher, thank you for signing up for Magi. You're going to love it. Such a great tool. Well, before we end, I know Rachel wanted to share something that she had come across having to do with ChatGPT, like a frustration and how she dealt with it. Rachel, you want to share with us?
Yeah, I write a lot of blog posts on Substack. And so I'll go in and I'll play with it in ChatGPT, right? And I'll ask it to provide me linked resources, but half the time, or more than half the time, it goes to a 404 page, which is really irritating. So I, out of frustration, literally just typed in, don't give me 404 links, make sure these links work. And it did. And all the links were valid. So I found that, because that's been my biggest frustration, because I resource a lot, I share resources, I quote resources from experts, and it was really upsetting. Now I just said, stop doing that.
I love it. I wish that would work with those M dashes on ChatGPT, because you have to just, the only way to get rid of it. I mean, I just ignore them and just put commas, but the only way I've seen around that on ChatGPT is you have to tell it every time you start a new chat with your prompt, because there's a setting where you can personalize it. And I've seen so many ChatGPT, experts talk about this, and I've done it. I've changed it up. I've done different ways of it.
Same.
It doesn't work. It doesn't work. It still puts in those M dashes. I don't know why it loves M dashes so much. It likes the word delves and it likes M dashes. Drives me nuts. Drives me nuts.
Yeah.
But I'm also not a full copy and paste. I mean, I use it to help me organize, brainstorm, and help me formulate.
Yeah.
I know everybody's different. So anyway, well, thanks for sharing that with us, Rachel, because sometimes it's just something that's like a obvious thing that we don't think about until we hear somebody else say it. And we're like, I didn't even think of that. So now
Yeah.
you just gave some people ideas.
I hope
for-
it helps,
for
and I hope
future?
it works for them. I don't know. Your mileage may vary.
That's great. Well, it's always a fun chat, y'all. We do this every Thursday. Always love hanging out. I don't know why my LinkedIn stopped working, but Bez, I see yours is working. I think that's how Resman is here, because I know it's not on my LinkedIn because it's showing in StreamYard has a big exclamation point, like it stopped working. But we're on like various X, Facebook, YouTube. I know with some of the social media platforms, it's not easy to go catch these replays. You can always watch the replay on my YouTube channel at Madalyn Sklar. So you can go there. I've got all the replays of all of these. A little later today, I'll go back into the description on YouTube for this video and put all the links to everything we discussed, because I know some of you want to go share the Maury Smith post about Facebook. I shared that on my Facebook this morning, and when I saw that, I'm like, oh, people need to know about this. But thank you so much for hanging out. This is always great. I look forward to seeing everybody next week.
Yeah, thank you, Madalyn.
Thank
Happy 4th
you.
of July to
Yeah.
everybody, by
Thank
the way.
you.
Have a great
Yeah.
weekend,
Yeah,
Yeah.
happy 4th, and we'll see you
wherever you are.
Yeah, exactly. Where
Don't forget to watch the games to this Sunday. Mexico and U.S. going at each other. So the
Oh,
soccer.
interesting.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Interesting. Cool. Well, thanks. And
Awesome.
we'll see y'all next time. Bye, everybody.